In this video, we're going to talk about how to identify your best employee and how to hire more just like them. Welcome to Dave Talks Business.
We have Dave Kramer, the founder of All Pro Web Tools.
Dave has worn many hats over the years as a small business owner.
Well, you know, I really feel that small business is the core of the American economy. Amen.
Last week, I was doing a private coaching with a small business owner who was having problems keeping good staff on the job. Take a look as I share some helpful tips on how to address this.
Next thing I wanted to chat with you about is how you work with your staff. You mentioned earlier today that they don't like the headsets on the computers, and you also mentioned that you didn't know why. So I'm wondering, is there a reluctance on your side to kind of dig in a little bit and communicate with them on things?
That could very well be with that. Trying to find employees here is tough.
Okay.
It's easier now that I've split the front and the back. And so that does help a lot. But yeah, trying to find, I try and pacify the employees a lot more than I should, simply because it's a tough thing to find them. Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's dig into that a little bit. What makes it tough to find?
Trying to find a person who's fit enough and interested enough to swing a sledgehammer is a hard thing to find, especially, I mean, if it's raining, if there's bugs, if it's cold, if it's windy, if it's whatever. They're inconvenienced, they're hot, they're cold, they're whatever. And we've had a lot of them that have said, screw this, and walked right off the job, you know, just simply because they don't like that.
Yeah, I totally get it now. I didn't realize all that. Are you saying that everyone who works inside also has to work outside?
Not everyone. I have a couple people that work just the front of the house that work up front there. They have the option on like Sunday afternoons to help us go out and take down tents if they want to, but it's not mandatory. It's just something, hey, if you want to help and you want to get paid and your boyfriend's working anyway, come on down, we'll put you to work, kind of thing, you know?
Okay. Is it
I think
something...
the biggest part of it is that anytime an employee doesn't show up, if I tell one of my customers that something's going to happen and it's going to happen at a certain time, that's going to happen. And that means, so if one of my employees doesn't show up, if they walk off the job, if they whatever, that means that my husband and I are doing all this stuff. The worst part of the job, according to any of our employees, is cleaning all of the stuff once it comes back.
Really? That's the worst.
Yep. The deliveries and setting up and taking down the stuff is the stuff they love that.
Somebody who's creative and likes pretty things is going to be great at setting things up, but they're going to hate tearing it down. It's a completely different mindset. I've done a lot of stuff with social dynamics and body language and communication skills and things like that. Also with personality assessments, which is something I would like to recommend for you to do with your existing staff. Mm-hmm. So this is your homework. Go ahead and pull up a website. You don't need to share your screen for this, but go ahead and pull it up while we're talking. It's called 16personalities.com, and it's 16 and then personalities.com. So there should be a big button somewhere that says like take the test.
Yep.
Okay. So it takes about 10 minutes to take the test, and it asks you some very simple questions about your personality. And I would like you to have everyone who works at the place take it, including yourself and your husband.
Okay.
And when you're all done taking it, it will give you a 5-letter score.
Okay.
And just tell me, and just take note of the name of the person and their score that they got. That's all you need to take down.
Okay.
Now, it'll give you pages and pages of things you can read about your personality. And you know, there's nothing wrong with letting your staff peruse that, because it helps them to be a little bit more self-aware.
Okay.
but I just provide me with that information next time we chat, is the names of the people and the 5-letter score.
Okay.
And what that's going to do is, this is something that needs to be part of your hiring process. So when you have a candidate that I usually do it after the interview. So I will, and it's great too, because if you're in an interview and you're kind of wishy-washy on somebody, or you're thinking, well, I've got this other candidate, if they call first, then I'm going to take them, this guy will be second, that kind of a thing. What you say is, okay, so the next step in the process after you have the interview, you say, okay, the next step in the process before we can offer you a position is to take this test. So go home, take the test, and then send me back the 5-letter score. And then we'll get back to you if we want to hire you.
Okay.
That's what I do.
That I should now let you know that, again, it's not like people run to our door to apply for our job. So you don't even have to interview here. You walk in and you say, hey, I want a job. Then I say, great, here's your paperwork. We'll see you tomorrow. Bring a lunch.
I get it. I everything you're saying today, I'm on the same page with you. I've been through these things, and the value I want to bring to you is how I've overcome them over the last 30 years. My own personal failings and my own personality, and I've had to overcome the whole thing with working with people. And sometimes I just go in my office and I go, okay, I have to talk to a customer, or I have to talk to an employee. Okay, let's put the smile on. And I get myself all ready to go do the thing with people.
Yep.
Yeah, not something I enjoy doing. My plan is to make it so that you do have people knocking on your door asking if they can work for you.
That'd be cool.
And I have some ideas already in my head. And if I can make that happen, I think I can also at the same time reduce the number of people who walk off the job. Because I understand what you're saying, and I hear you, and it makes sense. You'll take whoever will come. I get it. But does it really create value for you when they work for 12 hours, like one day, and then the second day they don't show up? Is that really adding value to you? So wouldn't it be better, instead of telling them to bring a lunch, is to ask them to take the personality assessment? And then know ahead of time, this guy's going to walk off the job. Because what the personality assessment is going to help you to predict is, so you'll have one guy take it and you'll get his 5-letter score, and then he'll walk off the job. And you'll have another person come in, take it, and you get the 5-letter score, and they walk off the job. And you'll start to see patterns in the 5-letter score.
Okay.
Like the last letter of people who walk off the job are always an A. If it's an A at the end, they're going to walk off the job.
Okay.
So now you know.
That's actually really interesting.
It is super cool. And I have used it in my office for the past 5-6 years. And I work with Scott, who you worked with for a little while. And I've been teaching him a lot about all this coaching and hiring employees and all that stuff. He's been using the 5-letter score for the past 3 years. And I think he's hired about 20, 25 people. And he's already noticed patterns in his letters. And he says, Dave, I will not hire somebody with these letters. And I always hire people with these letters. And it's been working beautifully.
Nice.
So
Nice.
Another tip for you. Because the idea is, if you do have a great employee, you want to copy them, right? Just make copies of them. Also, I think part of what we need to do with the staffing is to separate out the roles. So like in my business, when I have a computer programmer, the mentality of them is they like dark rooms, they like lots of caffeine, and they like working at night, not during the day, and they hate talking to humans. Like that is literally what they are. And so I had to make adjustments in my company where they can work at night and they can bring as much soda as they want. We load it in the fridge for them, like, hey, whatever it takes. But here's the thing that we never ask them to do. We never ask them to do a customer support phone call.
Sure.
The customers don't want to talk to them with the techie talk, and they definitely don't want to talk to the customers. So in the beginning, when I started my business, I put the roles together in the same employee. I said, look, You're a technical person. You're the best one to explain to the customer what the problem is that they're having. So you're going to do that. And they were quitting left and right.
Mm-hmm.
But they were great programmers. And here's the thing, they only had to help one person a day or 2 people a week, and they couldn't handle that.
Mm-hmm.
And they flew away. So then I was like, okay, I got to hire a separate people person, somebody who wakes up in the morning and smiles instantly and just hugs everybody. And, and I was like,
Tommy.
yeah, exactly. I'm understanding the personality. I'm like, okay, I need to hire for that and split the roles out. And I understand when you're small and you don't have enough payroll for, having a bunch of people. I get it. I've been there myself. But to at least have that goal and that focus and that direction of what you're trying to accomplish. So does that kind of help you feel a little better about that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It does. Mm-hmm.
In listening to you today, I've heard that the most important issue to address first is getting it to where people are knocking on your door asking to work for you. That's the first thing, because I understand what you're saying. You can't upset everybody and have them leave, because then you're in more hurt.
Yes.
So I get it. And we're going to work on that. I have a plan.
Yay. I love it when people have a plan.
And I'm happy to help.
Hey, thanks for watching. So how did I do? Let me know in the comments below. And if you have an idea for a video I should do in the future, you can put that in the comments too. I also have a free small business resource toolkit available on my website. You can find the link in the description below. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. And you can also subscribe right here. And there's another great video that will help your small business right here.